Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh,
So lovely to be here again. Ah, thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm Rachel Otto and our good friend.
Kim Mello here. Hi, everyone.
Wow. I mean, it is the time of expansion. There is so much chaos happening right now. I mean, we did talk about it a little bit on our last episode about what this chaotic time is about. And we are going to take just one more pause with our last chakra meditation that we'll probably do on Sunday. Because of all of this chaos, I thought maybe we should talk about healing reactions and downloads. Because that's what's happening right now. So, Kim, the way that I understand this, and of course, everything is always growing from my own understanding and how things work,
Mhm.
the world has been on this 10-year energy kaboom, 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 and it is trying to elevate all things, all beings onto this planet so that we can all live together in joy. I know, what a crazy concept. Joy. So here we are in this amazing time. And every 10 years now, it may have started in 62, but I know for a fact that the first massive push was in 72. And I remember reading about it because it was the year of the water rat. And it was supposed to be the biggest wave of indigo children being born, the biggest wave of helpers coming physically onto this planet to help raise the elevation, or excuse me, the elevation, help raise our spiritual understanding. So 72 is one of the biggest pushes that we begin to feel energetically. And then every 10 years, we have another batch of great kids. You know, we went indigo, then we went to the rainbow kids, we went to the crystalline kids. Now they're just wow. So the children born this year are really our children of, I mean, we're talking beyond binary and non gender. We are talking true divine love and divine consciousness. I mean, the children being born this year are coming out in the most amazing, awesome state. So, this 10-year energy push 72, 82, 92, 2002, 2012, and 2022. We can look back at astrology. There's all kinds of planet alignments and really groovy things happening, but it's also this energetical push that keeps pushing. Viewer, listener, you could probably look into your own life. 2012, 2002, what were the changes in your life? What things happened that made you kind of shift what you were thinking or your perspective? So, oh, look, we've got some beautiful guests joining us today. We have Mr. Prince is here with us live. Hey, Prince.
Hey, how are you?
So, we do want to make sure that we understand that this energetical push is just pushing us forward in divine love and divine consciousness, right? So, as we're pushing forward in this energy, two things are happening. The first thing that's happening is that we're getting these downloads. What are downloads? Well, it's this funny feeling that you get in the crown of your head. You might get it late at night. It might happen at 2:22 or 111 or oh, hey, Nessa's watching too. So, this download of energy happens as we understand so that we can understand what's happening around us. It helps elevate our uh, goodness inside of us. You know, it brings our DNA up. It helps us allow the energy to move forward. So this 22 energy, this 2 every 10-year energy, is where you might start hearing more buzzing in your head. You might have a feeling where you just can't sleep at night and you may not hear anything, but you feel awake in the morning. Um, but you just really want to like be with it. You have to let it come in and fill you up and go its flow. So this energy is giving us new information. It's upgrading our physical abilities. It's giving us more of our creator inside of us, allowing us to create more. But it is also causing what we call healing reactions. Have you ever heard of healing reactions, Kim?
Not until you mentioned them to me yesterday, Rachel.
Okay. So, well, there was this one of my favorite teachers, Walter Lubick, gave me this great example of what a healing reaction is. If you've ever broken a bone, once you break the bone, you have to set it back into place. And so you have to re break it again, right? And that resetting of it is sometimes painful. So, a healing reaction is when we forgive something, we let go of something, we want to release something within us. And sometimes our physical body then has to readjust. It has to get used to this new energy, this new love, this new happiness. So, an example of a healing reaction that I personally had was I had colitis for 20 some years. Woohoo! I'm so lucky. I was 17 years old and I got to do more colonoscopies and be on the Nexium test market. I mean, 17 horrible, horrible problems with colitis. This is in the 80s.
Mhm.
And once I finally was able to go to the root of what that problem was, the dis-ease that I have within myself, I was able to forgive myself, forgive that situation. And
Mhm.
as I am working through and pulling out all of the stuff I need recycled within my stomach area, getting rid of all of these things that I was holding on to, well, some crazy healing reactions happened.
Mm.
Two major healing reactions happened. One healing reaction happened was I was walking out. I just finished a beautiful session with a wonderful shaman named Rebecca Green, and she really released it all. And I was so beautiful. And I was walking outside, and I just felt everything was going right. And slammed right into the sidewalk, ripped up my knees,
Ooh.
started bleeding all over. And then I was just in all of this achy pain. And I realized I just needed a hot bath and just needed to take care of myself and stay grounded and pay more attention. The other thing that happened when I was dealing with this colitis, and I had another great healer, Walter Lubick, who helped me through the situations for forgiveness of myself. I vomited for 30 minutes. Plastic weird stuff. I don't even
Oh.
know what it was. I don't even know what it was. I had stuff coming out of me. I couldn't stop. And then
Mm.
as quickly as it started, it ended. And I was fine. No nausea, no weird things. It's just like I had to literally release it.
Mhm.
Other things that are healing reactions is if you ever have an energy session done and you don't it doesn't sit right with you. You don't understand it. You know it's for your highest good, but you just don't understand it. Sometimes it takes 24 or 48 or 36 hours to really integrate into your system, to allow yourself to forgive yourself, to allow yourself to let go of what you don't need. So healing reactions come in all different forms. They could come in. Um, I've gotten night sweats before, where something just poured sweat out of my body. I've had situations where I didn't feel like eating at all, or all I could do was eat. Same with drinking water. Sometimes healing reactions will make you act differently to different people. Hmm.
Hmm.
Kim, have you ever been around somebody who you just want to help? You just want to make their lives better and you do what you can. And then it just doesn't seem like it's a two-way street. It just seems like they really just always want from you and they just keep taking and taking. And you realize that It's a one-way street friendship. Have you ever had those friendships?
I can say I have, and I also, if I'm real, can say I've probably been both those people in the relationship. So I understand where they're coming from, and then it's just up to me to set a boundary. But yeah, I have been in a situation where a person needed so much help that I literally would have to gear myself up before even answering the phone, and then have to get myself ready to call them back and say, okay, power down. And then I eventually had to shut it down for both our goods. But yeah, it comes and goes. So I have much forgiveness for people when they're in that position, even when I have to remove myself from them.
And that was so beautifully said. You were able to remove yourself from them. And that's
Yeah.
what we want to do sometimes, is just let them be at peace with themselves,
Uh-huh.
because we can't help people.
And also, sometimes I know you found this, and everybody who's listening, as this has happened, as you said, something happens, and the bell doesn't really go off when it happens. It's when you think about a situation, and then you learn from it. So hopefully, back and forth, the loving things that we say to each other to help each other, people might not get it then, but if there are people really earnestly trying to grow, or just happen to fall ass backwards into it, the bell might go off one day, and they're like, "Oh, I get it." That's
That
life.
that's so wonderful. Yes. And we don't have to hold on to all relationships.
Mhm.
You could be holding on to somebody who isn't for your highest good, and there might be somebody for you that's gonna help you with your stuff, and there
Mhm.
might be somebody better for them that's
Mm.
actually going to maybe resolve their issues, or possibly be exactly what it was that they were looking for, and you were the one blocking them from finding what it was to make them happy.
Mm.
Enabling is not always the best thing in the world. Sometimes when we enable each other, we are not enabling our highest selves, or not bringing in the best good.
Mhm.
And so when we talk about these healing reactions, we're really talking about all of life. We want to be able to be in joy, but we have to understand that we are resetting this system. We are resetting the system of life.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
unfortunately, we have to make massive, drastic changes in our entire way of living. And that is why we are seeing this massive amount of gun violence in the United States right now. That's why we're seeing this massive amount of confusion and looking for direction. And we are not going to find it in our government. We are not going to even find it in our churches. We are only going to find our peace here.
And
Here.
yeah, it's within us, and really, I think practically speaking, if we want to find it in our government and our churches, we have to bring some of it with us. It's uh, it's a team thing. We all have to do it. We all have to be part of it. We can't just be taken care of. We have to take care of each other. And so I do think that it's happening on all levels. I mean, it seems obvious in our society, in American society anyway, since that's where Rachel and I live. In American society, it's definitely happening because it's also happening in our real existence, our spiritual existence. So just I think people need to believe in themselves. Who said believe in yourself as much as you believe in any outside source and any in source creation. Believe in yourself as much and do it with love and do it expecting nothing except for just the pleasure of making things better, just the joy of making things better. You know,
Just the
that's what I.
joy. Just the joy. I love that.
Mhm.
You nailed it. And this isn't just a female thing or a male thing or an American thing. This
Mhm.
is all of our things. Whether you believe in spirituality or not, it's about each individual finding that love and that connection within themselves.
Mhm.
Because when we truly love who we are and we can believe in ourselves as the individual, and we know how much God or the creator or the source loves us, well, then you don't have to worry about harming another person. You don't have to backlash, and you don't have to jump out and do these things. So yes, it is time for us to re-switch the way that we think about things. It is time for us to reteach the way that we look at stuff. Again, whatever it is, whatever religious beliefs that you have, find that love in it. I'm not going to say what religious is the best and what is the worst, and who does what, because in all of our religions there's awesomeness.
Mm,
There's
yeah,
awesomeness.
it's
If we look at parts of even what the Christian Bible says, it tells us right there, God is within our hearts. We can learn about how Jesus brought compassion and consciousness into this world. I mean, there's awesome information in there. How do we digest that love? How do we step in that love? Because what we're going to feel, folks, in this next few months right now as we transition upward is more healing reactions. And
mm,
unfortunately, some healing reactions are going to be violent because in America, we don't know any other way to react other than violence. Violence is what we have been taught. Violence was how this country was started.
yeah.
Violence is embedded into our DNA, no matter how much, even I myself try to just be love and try to be divine love. I, even there's violence in my language. I can't help it, and I'm trying to retrain myself. I'm trying to watch the words that I say, and I still want to fucking kick the shit out of stuff. Well,
Mm,
maybe I shouldn't.
mm. But you
Maybe instead I should love it, right?
right. But and forgive ourselves too when we have those reactions. But something that Rachel and I, when we talked about before today, is that I'm very I really want to know more about the indigenous people of this continent, because they were here for so many thousands of years before everyone else, and this is the energy of this continent. So I think part of it too is that we resist the energy that's here to serve us. We're resisting it, you know. So yeah, I'd like to learn within myself a more peaceful way to coexist with the planet, all of it, but with the continent wherever I am.
So I have to give my props, since you brought it up,
Mm,
to my personal favorite way of understanding the North American indigenous culture
mm,
is through a fantastic writer named Jamie Sams. I
mm,
just got her one of her other. Oh, see, you can't see it.
mm.
It's called Sacred Path Cards. I
Hold
also did her medicine wheel,
on.
um, or her medicine animal cards,
Hmm.
and they are just super phenomenal.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. No,
No.
I can't really get them to go.
Hmm.
Um, Within her cards, you learn the stories and the lessons of the imagery, but you get not just the story of, say, one tribe, but she weaves in the stories of all the tribes and how they all really take place. So it's really beautiful, because as much as I would love to go and just work with an indigenous group here, just like what you're saying,
Hmm.
I understand that, I may not be the ideal candidate, and nor do I have the time and space, and they, I'm sure, may not have the time or space to teach me things. But
Right.
us as the individual have these awesome books. We
Mhm.
have great references. Again, Jamie Sam's medicine animal cards and her book, The Sacred Path cards. She's got several other things. So we can learn these lessons. And it's not just about reading them, it's about literally integrating them into our life. All right. So I have to take 2 seconds here. And I have to tell you about what
Mhm.
has been happening to me. And that is the embodiment of truly living in divine love. And I do feel as though I might be creating a bigger bubble of happiness around myself, but it's not a bubble that I'm trying to exclude out people. It's a bubble that I'm trying to expand to the entire planet so that everyone can find their own peace and happiness. I got to spend the past 2 days with these trees behind me
Mm.
in the forest falls, and to actually sit with the rocks, the stone people, the standing people, to sit with the bird people. Everything, everything is provided for us. Everything is given to us when we sit at peace and actually listen for the answers. I am so grateful that really life just is love. It's just love. Yes, there's bills to pay. Yes, we have to live and we have to do our taxes and we have to water the plants and do everything. But when we find that balance within ourselves, there's joy in unloading the dishwasher.
Mm.
There's joy in going to work. There's joy in creating, well, your life and what it is that you believe in and makes you happy. So yeah, I understand that I have the wonderful gift of being able to connect you with any of your guides, any of the ascended masters, any of the universes. I understand this, the parallel universes, and that this is Middle Earth, that this existence and this time that we are is the exact middle point of all the parallel universes, of all the galaxies. We live on Middle Earth. And so, what we do here and what we change here is going to affect all time and space.
Mm. Not
But
Lord
it,
of the Rings people.
yeah, yeah. But
Mhm.
when we get into the Lord of the Rings,
Oh, I
in,
love it.
in understanding that this is Middle Earth, we're bringing that Middle Earth magic here, and we're accepting it. And it's not quite as dark as Lord of the Rings, because Lord of the Rings was, you know, we'll say 20,000 years ago in Dreamland, right?
Uh-huh.
So, that's old energy. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the new Middle Earth now is new energy. Did you know that we actually have the final official welcoming day for the Age of Aquarius?
Really?
Yeah, it finally happened. It finally happened. Everybody always talks about it's coming, and it's
Mm.
coming. And we technically, according to two major astrologers I follow, we've entered into the age of Aquarius. So that means that we are at the time where we are building love. We are
Mm.
building new ways. So,
Harmony.
how do we build these new ways?
Hmm.
Well,
I said harmony and understanding. Hmm.
exactly. Sing it out, fifth dimension.
Hmm.
We really have a time to go within, to feel that love of who we are, and then to step forward and create this new future. You know what I'm excited about is the healing reactions that are happening right now may feel a little awkward and may get a little turbulent, but just think about this winter, when everybody goes back into their hibernation, when everybody kind of calms down a little bit. Next spring is going to be like that song.
Mm.
I really believe that in a year we are just going to step into all of this creation, because we have to create new pathways. And well, I was given some simple principles to live by. Do you have a second? I think we've talked about them for a little bit. Can I can I show them to you?
Let's have them.
Let's have them. All right. So I believe in the very simple way of living, that you don't have to be told everything, but instead we can make it into a simple perspective. So Let's see, where's my share my screen? Uh, I want to share this. All right, well, maybe I won't be able to share it. We'll try one more time and then I'll give up. Not that I'm really giving up. We'll just say that I'm looking in new directions. All right, I'll just read it to you.
Can you?
So, the first principle is to stay in the present moment. Stay now, live in the now. And we understand living in the now means is that we can't live in the past. You cannot hold on to the awards or the great things that happened to you in the past. Instead, use those as lessons to move you forward. And we
Mhm.
can't get stuck in the future because the future doesn't exist. And with all the chaos and the free will, we have to really allow whatever it is for the future to be the future. Um, we have to let it play out. So, living in the now is the only thing that exists. The
Mhm.
second principle is love thyself. And that's what I've talked about this whole time. And that's what this whole show is about, is the way to live in love. Because when we love who we are, we respect ourselves. And when we respect ourselves, we respect others. The third principle is heal thyself. And when we say heal thyself, that puts you back in responsibility, not understanding that if you're at dis-ease with something, only you can make yourself happy. Only you can change how you feel about things.
Mhm.
So put your oxygen mask on first and heal yourself, which goes into governance, self governance. What is self governance? Self governance is saying that it is your responsibility to stay healthy. It is your responsibility to eat the right foods for your body. It is your responsibility to exercise. It is your responsibility to brush your teeth. It's
Mhm.
your responsibility to live in a healthy way and taking care of the temple that you've been given. That's nobody else's. That's not your mom's responsibility. It's not your brother's or your partner's. It is your responsibility to take care of your physical being. It's not the government's or anybody else's. Self governance does mean that we respect ourselves so much that we follow the collective rules. The stop signs are out there so that as a collective we can live together. Self governing is not saying we do not listen to other rules. Self governance means we apply ourselves to the community's rules and conditions. It means that we help create them and we support them and we work with the community to the highest good.
Mhm.
And then the final principle is doing all of this in appreciative gratitude. And when we say appreciative gratitude, we're really talking about the authentic gratitude, not the automatic God bless you when somebody sneezes, not the automatic goodbyes or something that you say. It's actually understanding that you are super, super grateful and appreciative for being on this plane, for being healthy, for being in love, and for the great day that you have. Or you know what? It may not have been a great day, but it could have been a day that was a day and we forget because we judge so much. All right, that was pretty heavy. You got real quiet, Kim.
Oh, well, and I'm also learning that, just observing that my videos behind my audio, I don't know how to alter that. But yeah, I understand, what you're saying, and I understand that yes, we are ultimately responsible. And yes, we do have things heaped on us a lot of times from the outside. We do. But if we can always recognize that, uh, that person, even if they have significantly more power in a society or in a system or in a job than we do, they're still acting from what they know. They're acting from a place that's not necessarily of joy, not necessarily of happiness, because I kind of think that if you feel that way about yourself, you don't want to behave in another way. To say it's just not in you. If you're joyous within yourself, you're not going to heap unhappiness onto other people. But and though there are burdens in dealing with other people, we still have to have enough grace for them as well. Okay, because ultimately we are the ones responsible for our own happiness and for how we choose to react to or hold on to things. It really um and I'm saying that practically speaking, there's really no other way I see to look at it. Somebody else might come up with something. I haven't learned it yet. And that's powerful because it means that no one has control over our joy. No one but us.
Well, I think you just did the most perfect closing statement. No one has control over your joy except for you. And it is unlimited, unconditional,
Mhm.
and we hope that you find it within your heart. I'm Rachel Otto. Please subscribe to us down below at Way Chill Living. There are a bunch of fantastic free meditations I have at Way Chill Living, both here on YouTube as well as on SoundCloud and Vimeo. And there's one that's called the Divine Morning Stretch and Mother Earth, Father Sky. Those are great meditations that are simple and quick so that you can really start to feel that self-love.
Mhm.
Well, I think the next episode we're going to finish our chakra series and do one big meditation to pull us through all of them. So next Sunday. Oh, thank you to Suzanne. We're happy that you joined us live. And for you too, Jennifer, for watching, super glad that you're here. Hope that your hearts all open up and you feel all of this energy and love. We will do just one full meditation, like I said, on the next episode. But keep being who you are in this now moment of love.
Mhm.
Ciao.
Bye, guys. Thanks for being here.